have a president who is cozying up to dictators, to authoritarians, and rather should be promoting American values rather than embracing those which are antithetical to our own.
What about Colonel Vindman's formulation of Donald Trump as the useful idiot, as the possibly unwitting agent of Vladimir Putin? No one knows more about Russian operations like this than you do. That was your specialty at the FBI.
Yeah, that has a lot of merit. I mean, look, I recruited people to work for the United States for over 20 years. I worked against those who were trying to recruit those within the U.S., and there are a ton of motivations. I mean, the big categories of those of money, ideology, coercion, or ego. And the issue is, when you look at our president, he has vulnerabilities in each and every one of those areas. So I certainly agree with Colonel Vindman's observations. And look, this is coming from a man who fled the Soviet Union with his father and his two brothers, who went into the army for a career, who served in wartime, who was wounded in wartime. This is not a partisan statement. Compare that to Senator Coates, the former director of national intelligence, a 16-year senator, a Republican senator from Indiana. This isn't a partisan issue. This is a national security issue, and all of us should be paying attention.
Let's listen more about what Colonel Vindman told Lester Holt about his view of Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin.
Some people have actually called it a kind of a love affair. I think he's at minimum infatuated, and I think he's infatuated with Putin's power. He's infatuated with the power of authoritarian leaders that could govern with impunity. As a kid in former times, that was unaccountable to his people, unaccountable to any other checking force. In our case, we have three branches of government purely to establish a balance between them. And the president doesn't appreciate that. The president has a very strong authoritarian streak.
Your reaction to that point about the president's authoritarian streak, which we've all seen.
Well, I think it's absolutely valid. And again, it goes to the point of any professional intelligence service is going to try to find and exploit as many vulnerabilities as they can for any individual. So again, when you look at President Trump's demonstrated behavior, the statements he made to Bob Woodward, he clearly has an affinity somewhere between his ego or something that is drawing him to that behavior. On top of what I've written about and talked about extensively about his financial entanglements that also create a vulnerability for coercion. So when you look at the totality of his behavior, from a counterintelligence perspective, that's an absolute nightmare. And it's something that, is not gotten better, is not improved with time, and represents a real threat right now as we sit here in 2020.